Hi guys, it's KINO. Welcome to another video. So I actually have not thought of an official title for this reading yet, but basically I wanted to make a reading for those who may be struggling or going through a hard time right now. And what I want to see in this reading is how can you overcome this tough chapter? How can you make it through to the next chapter of your life? And how is your situation going to improve in the next chapter? What's about to get easier in your life, and what does this new chapter have in store for you that you can look forward to? So that's kind of the general vibe of the reading today. Maybe I will think of a more precise title as I go through it. But for now, let's move into showing you guys your options. There are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today. And with each reading, we're going to be using a different tarot deck. And there's also, as you can see, a different crystal tower on top of each deck to help you pick. This is what the decks look like from the back, but in just a second I'm going to show you guys a card from each deck so that you can also get a feel for the front artwork. And today I'm going to show you the 6 of Swords because I think that this is a really fitting card for the topic of the reading. This is a card that always makes me think of moving on from a stressful or turbulent or just overall difficult situation and moving forward into a more peaceful and easy life. And that is really what I want to be looking at today. So without further ado, let's give you guys a close-up look at each of your options. Option number 1, your stone is rainbow quartz, your deck is the Naked Heart Tarot, and here is the 6 of Swords. Option number 2, your stone is Aqua, your deck is the Tarot of the Divine, and here is the 6 of Swords. Option number 3, your stone is red phantom quartz, your deck is the Muse Tarot, and here is the 6 of Swords. And option number 4, your stone is Citrine, your deck is the Gentle Heart Tarot, and here is the 6 of Swords. Okay, so just in case you need a little bit more time to pick, these are all of your options laid out side by side so that you can compare them and see which one is calling to you the most. As always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the rainbow quartz, can you see how it's like kind of rainbowy? I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but when the light hits it in a certain way, there's like little rainbow flecks of light in it. But anyway, it's a very pretty crystal. If you guys chose the rainbow quartz and the Naked Heart Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So we're gonna start off this reading by looking into the energy surrounding your current situation, and then we're going to get some advice for how you can make it through this current chapter that you're going through and what is next. So I actually want to start off with a different deck. I'm going to be using the Intuit Tarot, and I will take reversals for this part because this deck has like different descriptions on it for both the upright and reverse positions. I don't know if I'm going to take reversals for this deck. This reading, I'm really just winging it. I'm really just staying open to however the messages want to come through. Okay, my group number 1s. So you can also think of this part of the reading as an energy check. So if the energy that I'm describing here does sound like the current situation that you're going through, that can be your sign that this is in fact your reading. So we have the 3 of Swords with overcoming sorrow. We have the 7 of Wands with licking your wounds. And the 2 of Swords with frozen with indecision. So, and the 3 of Swords and the 7 of Wands are in reverse. First, just in case these are relevant to anyone, I will point out the astrological placements that are here. We have the Saturn in Libra, we have Mars in Leo, and we have the Moon in Libra. it looks like there is something that you guys are trying to heal from right now, and something that you guys are trying to move on from. But with the Seven of Wands right next to this, with the message of licking your wounds, it seems like what might be blocking you from this healing is that there is something that you continue to do that is making it worse. There is a very specific example that is coming to my mind right now, and I'm not sure if this is what many of you are actually doing, or if this is just like a hypothetical example to illustrate the situation. But it feels like, for example, you have decided to let go of a connection that wasn't going anywhere. Like maybe a situationship wasn't going anywhere, or maybe you have gone through a breakup and you're trying to get over your ex. But then, for example, like you keep watching tarot readings about this person. So it's like on one hand, and that's the Two of Swords too. It's like, which way are you gonna go? The Two of Swords is like being torn between two paths. It can talk about indecision, but in this case, I'm kind of reading it as like two contradictory energies, or like two contradictory thoughts that are in your head. There's one part of you that's like, I'm trying to heal, I'm trying to move on, I've made this decision to let go. But then there's this other contradictory, I could say, like pull within you, or this other contradictory urge within you that maybe is like, okay, well, maybe I'll just check up on them one more time. Like maybe I'll just like check in and see how they're feeling about me one more time. Or maybe I will watch this like one more soulmate reading, or one more love reading, or something like that. Again, this is just a hypothetical example, but I feel like that's really what licking your wounds is talking about. It could also be something like, you know, you keep checking up on this person's social media or something like that. And of course, this doesn't have to be a person. If I could use, let's say, you know, last year I had this whole thing where I was stuck in Canada for quite some time because of COVID, and I couldn't come back to Japan. Let's say I like lost a chance to go there, but I keep like looking at videos of Japan, or like looking at things that are going to hurt me, if that makes sense. It's like on one hand you're saying I'm gonna move on, but on the other hand it's like you keep giving yourself this false hope, or like you keep interacting with things that remind you of this thing or person or place that you are claiming to want to move on from. So with this Two of Swords here, with this indecision, unclear path, avoidance, stalemate, I think stalemate is like when we can't make a clear decision either way, so we're just like constantly stuck in this limbo. So there's kind of like two contradicting forces going on within you. This is what it really looks like. So with the next deck that we're going to look at here, we're going to get some advice for this situation. Okay, so let's take a look now at cards from the Naked Heart Tarot. Okay, we have the Spirit of Cups in reverse. This is the King of Cups in reverse, I believe. And then we have Justice in the upright. And then we have Death in reverse. And then, should I take all three of these? Sure. Okay, let's see what we have. We have the Five of Cups in reverse, Sky Father in reverse, which is the Emperor, and then we have the Sun in the upright. Okay, so the advice for you in this situation, I really think for this group, that it is time to move on. I think that Spirit is encouraging you to move on from the situation. I think that maybe deep down this is something that you guys know, but like licking your wounds, so to speak, or doing these little things here and there that like remind you of what you're trying to move on from, or just give you that little feeling of hope for a bit longer. It's just ways, I think, to put a band-aid on the situation when things are feeling particularly hard or bleak. And I think that there's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of with that. I think that that's just like human nature, and that's just how our brain works. Like when things are getting tough, our brain wants to put some kind of band-aid on that, even if it's just temporary, so that we can escape from those emotions for a little while. But I think that in the long run, it's not conducive to your healing, and it's not conducive to you becoming your best self. And I think that you guys know this, but it's just hard. It's a lot easier said than done. But yeah, I think that's what this King of Cups in reverse is speaking of, because the King of Cups talks about healing. It talks about developing emotional maturity and really like getting a handle on your emotions and being able to manage and navigate your emotions in a healthy way. So with this card in reverse, it could be indicating that there are some habits right now, or some actions that are standing in the way of this. And it's the same thing with death in reverse. Okay. There's a couple different meanings of this death card. One of them is not moving on from something, because death is very much about release. It's about transformation and really letting something come to an end and really letting something die. So on one hand, this could be talking about resistance to moving on. But I also think that this could be indicating to us why it has been so difficult to move on for many of you. Maybe this is a situation where there was never really like a clear-cut ending. So a really easy example of this, of course, you guys can be thinking of any situation or going through any situation, but a very clear example of this is like a situationship that never really made it to its full fruition. It was always kind of like a wishy-washy, what are we? And then rather than this person straightforwardly saying to you, like, I don't want this relationship to go anywhere, or like, I don't want anything to do with you, or at least like something straightforward to draw a line in the sand and say, this is over. Maybe for a lot of you that never happened. Like there was never that clear-cut closure. And I think that if there had been that sort of thing, it would be easier to tell your brain like, okay, it's over. We need to stop like looking at this, associating with this, thinking about this, because like it's over and we've got to move on from this. But if you never got that straightforward answer, of course, there's going to be a part of you, like a part of your mind that is wondering, like, what if there's still hope? What if this can still reach its fruition? And there's always that like tiny, I guess, glimmer of hope, or that possibility of getting your hopes up. And I think when there's not that clear-cut death or like that closure, it just makes it a lot easier to fall into this pattern of licking your wounds and like getting stuck in this limbo. And I feel like sometimes we have to just create closure for ourselves, even though we didn't get it from the other party. We have to say like, I'm gonna make this closure for myself, because I don't deserve to stay in this limbo. I don't want that for myself. And I can't like wait around for someone or something to make up their mind that's maybe never going to give me a clear answer and like sacrifice my peace of mind for that. Like I have to protect myself and put myself first. And I think justice here is it is indicating that you deserve a lot better than to feel this way, or you deserve a lot better to be left with uncertainty, to be left with these kind of blurry lines. I think that when something or someone or somewhere is meant for you, the answer will be very clear, and it will be there for you, and it will be in your life. I also think with justice, something else that could be, yes, this makes sense too with like the King of Cups in reverse, with the Moon in Libra. I feel like you guys are very compassionate people. I think that you like to be considerate of the other side. You like to give people the benefit of the doubt, which is a wonderful trait in and of itself, but it can lead to our detriment. And you know, we spoke about the King of Cups being very in touch with his emotions, being able to navigate his emotions well. He is an extremely kind, compassionate, and gentle and tolerant soul. But even those traits can go overboard, or even those traits can become detrimental when we exhibit them, I guess I want to say recklessly or indiscriminately. And I feel like there may be someone on the other side of this who has not treated you well, who has not done right by you, but you are being so, you know, if it's like a one-time thing, or if it's happening every now and then, of course we can be understanding and compassionate to that person. You know, like, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. I was really busy. I was going through a lot. Of course that happens every now and then. But if that is like the everyday reality of your connection, or if that becomes like the constant energy, then we have to draw a line. And I feel like this reading is really about getting out of that like vague limbo and drawing a line. And I just feel with this King of Cups in reverse, maybe some of you guys have been like overly compassionate and overly understanding for the other side. This could even be like, maybe some of you guys have been dealing with a company or like an organization that has been super unprofessional, that has been leaving you hanging, that is just really messy, and you're like, oh, I'm sure they're just really busy, or maybe I'm just being too strict, maybe I'm just being too picky. And life is all about balance. Yes, we give people compassion sometimes, we give them the benefit of the doubt, but we can't let the scales tip too much one way. We have to also be realistic, and we have to look out for ourselves. And if our well-being is suffering, that's where we have to draw the line. And I think Justice is talking about this balance between you accommodating others and showing compassion for others, but also looking after yourself. And I feel like that maybe, at least in this situation, I feel like looking after yourself and protecting yourself and drawing these boundaries has maybe taken a back seat. So I would say this like limbo that you guys might be in, and this reluctance to let go, it comes from a place of like, one, there's still a glimmer of hope. Maybe there wasn't a clear closure. And two, I think you guys are just so compassionate that even when you are getting the short end of the stick over and over again, you just want to like make excuses. I know that sounds harsh, but like make excuses for the other person or people, or like forgive the other person or people. But moving on into what we see in the future for you guys, first of all, I really like all of these cards. The Five of Cups is a beautiful card to have in the reverse, because it is a card that talks about loss, that talks about heartbreak, disappointment, rejection. And what is quite characteristic about the Five of Cups in this deck is that not a single one of these cups is like standing upright. They've either completely fallen over, or they're in the process of falling over. And I feel like this is really Spirit conveying, like there is, and again, this is harsh wording, but maybe some of you guys just need to hear it this way. Like, there is nothing for you here. This path would only lead to further heartbreak, further disappointment. But the Five of Cups, I feel like this is about change. This is about moving on, and this is about healing from these wounds. This is kind of out of nowhere, but I just wanted to mention the animals that are here because I think they could be important symbols for you. We have whales, eagles, crows, butterflies, as well as beetles. These could be important spirit animals for you. I feel like your spirit guides might appear to you as these animals. But yeah, I'm really happy to see a card about sadness and heartbreak show up in the reverse, because this means we're coming out of that energy. And the number 5 is about change. So we're moving on from this energy. Same thing with the Emperor in reverse. I actually feel like this is a really nice card to be in reverse in this context, because the Emperor is it's a very solid energy, and it can be a very stubborn energy. Like it's hard to make the Emperor budge. I see this quite a lot in readings. I feel like on one hand, this Emperor in reverse is speaking about you guys moving on from this situation. Like that stubborn part of your brain that you feel is like clinging on would finally be able to let go. And I also do feel like the Emperor in the reverse is simultaneously indicating that whoever or whatever is on the other side of this has moved on. Even if you haven't gotten that clear answer, I feel like they have moved on. Because in this type of reading, when the Emperor comes out in the upright, this is someone saying like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm gonna stay here. That's very, very frequently how it comes through, at least for me, how the cards show up for me. So in the reverse, I would read this as someone who is like, who has moved on or is very, very different now from like past memories that you might romanticize or cling on to. It might, if you did get this thing or person or whatever it is that you want, it might be very different from what you're expecting, or very different from like the good old days when you remember it. And did I want to say something else with the Five of Cups in reverse? I don't think so. The Sun is also a beautiful card. The Sun came out in the upright, and this is literally making me think of the sun rising after a dark night of the soul. Like the sun will rise again. You will be happy again. And even looking at this transition, it's like the Emperor likes to be very in control, likes things to be very predictable and stable and in control. So I do feel like as you move on from this, there will be times where you feel out of control. There will be times where the future feels uncertain, and that's scary. And maybe that's also one reason that it's hard to move on, even though maybe deep down you know you should. Whatever this was provided some sense of stability and security. And that might sound strange, but I feel like I'm not a brain expert, but just what I've observed in myself and what I've observed in other people, I do feel like our brain gets attached to things that are a constant in our life. Even if they're not good for us, if that becomes our everyday, if that becomes our routine, our brain would like cling on to that because our brain likes habit, our brain likes routine. So going all the way back to that first example of someone who's like trying to get over someone, but they keep watching love readings, maybe that's become like their everyday, you know, and the brain has gotten used to like, okay, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna watch these love readings and I'm gonna miss my person. And when you stop doing that, your brain is like, wait a minute, where did my routine go? Like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And when you free yourself from that pattern, it's like, I feel like for a while your brain doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know what to do with this like emptiness, so to speak. This freedom, it feels like too much. It feels scary because it's unpredictable, because it's unknown. So it could be that whatever this is has provided you a lot of security for a long time, or just like moving on from this energy, it feels so different that it's scary. It's the fear of what comes next. But with the Sun, this is a bright future, and this is also you feeling carefree. So rather than this being a transition of you guys like losing your sense of control and finding it again, this is like losing your sense of control and then being like, you know what? I'm okay with this. I like this. I don't need to control everything. The Sun is this very open, like maybe you guys are familiar with the image on the Sun of like the baby riding the horse and being like, woo, and just being so open. I just saw 2121, by the way. I feel like this is you guys. Like you're opening up your heart again. You're opening up to new blessings, to new life, to the next chapter. So I guess my advice for you in this situation is like, yes, it is time to move on. Maybe understanding the possible reasons of why it's been hard to move on can be helpful. But I see very clearly here that it is going to get better. It might feel scary for a while. It might feel like you've lost control, or it might feel uneasy because something that was constant in your life, something that brought a sense of security or a semblance of security. It's also coming through like that. The lack of that could be unnerving for some time, but the sun will rise and you will reach this place of being truly carefree and just like truly being able to laugh from your heart again and to be completely playful again. I also feel like the energy that you're moving into is going to be one where you feel very inspired. This card can talk about creative inspiration, physical energy and vitality, physical health. You think of the sun, it's very bright, it's very robust, it's vibrant, it's full of life. So you're coming back to this kind of energy and just having like a zest for life that was maybe lost or just kind of dampened by what was going on here. And yeah, even more so, like, because I did take reversals in this reading, which I don't normally do, the sun being in the upright is like a huge confirmation and a huge sign of that. So oh, and let's also look at zodiac signs that we have here. We have Scorpio here on the King of Cups. We have Libra. We have Scorpio again. We have, I believe the Five of Cups is also Scorpio. I think that it is Venus in Scorpio. No, it's Mars. Yeah, Mars in Scorpio. I'm pretty sure. I'm still getting trying to get a hang on the minor arcana astrological placements, but I'm pretty sure it's Mars in Scorpio. And then we have Aries with the Emperor, and we have Leo with the Sun. Yes. Okay, so for the last part of this reading, we're going to take a look at some oracle cards just to get any final messages or guidance from Spirit. So we have be gentle with yourself. This is so important. Like in any healing journey, being patient and gentle with yourself is extremely important. This looks very similar to the Death card. I feel like this is your journey of healing and moving on, and it's important to be gentle with yourself in this time. My eyes are going towards this the phases of the moon up here. Like this is an entire phase of a moon, so this could be indicating that like in a month from now you guys will feel much better. Healing journeys can and often do take longer than that, but maybe you have already been on this healing journey for quite some time, and I do think that a full month can do a lot for like where you're at emotionally and for your mental health. So give it a full moon cycle. You could even use the cycles of the moon to help you. On the full moon, set an intention to release, set an intention to purge these attachments and purge these emotions that might be holding you back. And on the new moon, set an intention to start fresh and to manifest new blessings, new love, new happiness into your life. And just because maybe you've identified what's keeping you from moving on, you've identified the bad habit, it doesn't mean that you're gonna completely stop. It's not like, oh, you're right, I shouldn't do that, and then you never do it again. Maybe you can do that, in which case you have very, very strong willpower, but not all of us are so amazing like that. So you might go back to these old habits again. You might be checking up again. You might be having hope again and getting yourself, getting yourself worked up again. And that's okay in those moments. We don't need to be like beating ourselves up for that or feeling like a failure. What's important is that we have that awareness and that we're getting better day after day and that we're falling back to those old patterns less and less frequently. It's not like a black and white thing, like one day I'm not healed and the next day I am. So yeah, very straightforward. Just be gentle and patient with yourself. We also have sextile, and I just saw 2626, which, wow, that's actually, I do quite frequently see angel numbers when I'm reading, but I feel like 2626, like the meaning of that number, it goes so well with what sextile is all about. One thing that's actually interesting is that like sextile, that means 6, right? And then when two planets are sextile, they're like 2 zodiac signs away from each other. So it's kind of cool that that was like 26, 26, 2 signs away and sextile. But 2 and 6 talk about balance, harmony, reciprocity, good health, like a healthy energy exchange. And when 2 planets are sextiling each other, that is very much what they're doing. They're very much in harmony with each other. So I feel like this card coming out is an indication of what we see with the sun. Like, oh, and also, yeah, like I thought like 1 month was important. This could also be like 2 months, because if 2 like zodiac signs are sextiling each other, it's like 2 signs away. So that's like 2 months. Of course, if we're thinking of it as the sun, but just look out for the 1 month mark and the 2 month mark from whenever you're watching this video. But yes, I feel like this is an indication of harmonious energy coming into your life, and also easy. The energy that flows between 2 planets that are sextiling each other is easy. Yes, so things are going to get easy in your life, and that's the new norm. It's like Spirit is saying, get used to things being easy, because that's going to be the new norm. And then we have gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Whatever it is that you guys have gone through, I think at the end of the day, I think you will know when you've healed if you can look back and feel grateful. Feel grateful for what happened. Feel grateful for what this situation taught you. And really be able to like make peace with it and move on. And I also think that maybe just like coming back to yourself and looking around your life and seeing all of the little things that you have to be grateful for, that could be like a helpful exercise to keep your mind off of this situation. And then finally, we have your hard work is paying off with the new moon in Capricorn. I don't know when you will be watching this video. I don't know if a new moon in Capricorn is going to be like coming up anytime soon, but I believe at least in the year 2022, the new moon in Capricorn is going to be like late December, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something else to keep in mind. But yeah, if this is talking about your journey, it's like, be gentle with yourself. It's going to get easier. One day you'll be grateful for this experience and all your hard work, which I'm thinking of this as like the work that you have put into yourself to do this healing. Your hard work is going to pay off. But this could also be foreshadowing good news coming in your career, because with the sun, and this Capricorn goat mermaid is looking at the sun, this is also like brilliant new inspirations, new ideas, new motivation. So maybe as part of this healing journey and like coming back to yourself, maybe it's like, I don't know how to like properly word it, but you could be channeling your emotions or like channeling the energy from your healing into creative pursuits or into your career. It's like when you go through a breakup and you have all of this like energy and you need an outlet for it. So you like pour a lot of your energy into like your business or like your, I don't know, your art, your fitness or something like that. It's like you will have an outlet for these emotions that you're purging that I think is going to bring success and rewards for you to reap. Yay! So group number 1, those are all the messages I'm seeing for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And you can also follow me on Instagram. And I just saw 3113, which is a mirroring angel number 3113. What was I saying? You can also follow me on Instagram, where I post weekly pick a card readings as well as new moon and full moon readings. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the, and I just saw 3131, the song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song. So if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 1s, I am sending you guys so much love, and much love to your spiritual team as well. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number twos. So if you guys chose the Aqua Aura and the Tarot of the Divine, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to start off by taking a look at the energy surrounding your current situation, and more specifically, we want to see what might be blocking you right now, what you might be struggling with right now, and we're going to get some advice of how you can move past this and see what is coming for you in the next chapter. So I want to start off with the Intuit Tarot to get our first glimpse into your current situation. And I am going to be taking reversals today for both of the decks. And you can think of this part of the reading as an energy check. So if the energy I'm describing here does in fact sound like your situation, then that is your sign that this is your group. Okay, for my group number twos, what might be blocking group number two right now? Or what energies might they be struggling with right now? So we're starting off with the Five of Cups in reverse, and it says overcoming despair. We have the Hierophant with non-conforming. Woo! And then we have the King of Coins, which jumped out very vigorously and almost fell off the table. I just want to mention that. And it says ultimate provider. One thing that I'm noticing is that all of these cards kind of have a similar color scheme. We have this like red, yellowy, orangey, earthy. I don't know if you'd call that earthy, but we have these warm, that's what I would call it. We have these warm colors here, and these are reminding me of the lower chakras, the root, sacral, and solar plexus chakra. And just looking at these cards, I think that one thing that this group might be struggling with quite a bit is confidence. And I actually feel a kind of frustration with this group. It could be frustration towards family, or just towards society in general. It's like the environment you grew up in, whether that's talking about like with your parents or like the society you grew up in. Yeah, there's frustration here. With the Hierophant here and non-conforming, I definitely think that this is talking about your energy, unconventional life choices, alternative styles, freedom, challenge the status quo, think for yourself. I think that you guys have always been this type of person, like someone who really goes to the beat of your own drum, someone who is maybe a little bit unconventional when it comes to your beliefs, when it comes to how you express yourself, when it comes to your dreams and what you want to pursue, or even when it comes to how you identify. There could be many things about you that are just not the status quo. And when we have this right next to the King of Coins, the King of Coins is it's a very conservative and traditional kind of energy, almost similar to the Hierophant in the upright. And it's also something that has accumulated over time. So it is also making me think of like traditions, things that are set in stone. You guys might feel that the environment you grew up in or the society you live in is quite like rigid or closed-minded or unwilling to change. And some of you guys maybe even, I'm just looking at like ultimate provider, like financially stable, dependable. You guys might have had this conflict in your past, or maybe you're going through this right now, where it's like you want to go against the status quo, you want to go against the grain, but you can't necessarily do that because it's like you can't go against the people who are providing for you. So maybe some of you guys are younger, like you're still living with your parents, and it's like you want to be unique, you want to express yourself in a certain way, but you can't disappoint them because they're like the hand that feeds you, so to speak. Like they're the one who's taking care of you, they're the one who is supporting you. Or even if you are older or you've moved out of this situation, the memories from that time could still linger with you. Or this could also be like an employer that you can't disappoint, or just society in general. But there's this feeling of like, I want to be the real me, but I can't bite the hand that feeds me. I can't like upset the person who makes the rules. I can't upset the authority. And so there's this feeling of being kind of trapped there. An example of this that I actually think happens quite a bit in this community is like being into spirituality, being into tarot, but having parents or living in a society or in a community that is very religious and very against those things. So it's like you feel stuck, you feel like you can't express yourself in that way, you can't explore your interests in that way. But there is also something else coming through, a different kind of frustration. I feel like many in this group are struggling with confidence. They're struggling to be confident with themselves because of some insecurities. They might be physical in nature, like your physical appearance. They might be in terms of like your identity or your interests that are deemed as like weird. But I think the frustration comes from society loves to preach like, be yourself, love yourself, be confident. And like, yes, that is an amazing message, but it's like we preach that and then we turn around and judge people and laugh at people. So it's like the same society that has knocked me down and that has made me feel worthless is then like, why are you so insecure? Like, get back up, brush it off. You need to learn how to be confident. This is like happening on a large scale, like happening in society, or this could be a family thing as well. Like that keeps coming back to me. Or it could be some kind of community, especially like a religious community. It's like you preach all of this love and you preach for us to be like confident and strong and love ourselves, but then you're so judgmental at the same time. So it's kind of like, and this sounds kind of harsh, but it kind of feels like crap. It feels kind of like bullshit that this person or these people or this like community or society at large is feeding you. So there's like a struggle to find your confidence, and there's a struggle to be yourself and feel free to do that and to embrace yourself. Wow. Okay, so let's move on now to the deck that you guys chose, the Tarot of the Divine. And we're gonna get some advice on how you can move past this. Okay, so we have the 8 of Coins. We have the Chariot. Interesting. I'm just looking at the visuals. This is really interesting. We have the 9 of Coins. Wow. Wow. The visuals in this are like really telling the story. And then we have the Knight of Coins in reverse. Okay, another thing, I think that I forgot to do this at the beginning of the reading, but I just want to point out zodiac placements that are present here. So for the Five of Cups, we have Mars in Scorpio. For the Hierophant, we have Taurus. And then we also have the planet Jupiter here. For the King of Coins, we have Capricorn. And then we have, I think that is the element of air. This triangle with the line, I'm like pretty certain. I don't know what this symbol is, but my camera just really wanted to focus on it. So if anyone knows what that is, please let me know. And then here with the Eight of Coins, this is it this? Oh my God, is it the Sun in Virgo? If I'm wrong, I'll put a subtitle, but I think the Eight of Coins is the Sun in Virgo. And then the Chariot is Cancer, the sign of Cancer. Nine of Coins is Venus in Virgo. And then Knight of Coins, I would say all earth signs. So, and yeah, there's a lot of earth sign energy here, like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Earth is really significant. That could also be indicating that the autumn season is going to be a significant time for you guys, whenever that's coming up, whenever you are in the world. But let's get into this energy. The first thing that I want to point out on this card is that the flowers are white, and this is something that makes me think of purity and innocence. And I think this is something that you guys need to remember, is that you are pure, you are innocent, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, I don't know, I feel like, of course, we have a diverse group, and for some, this might just be like you've been made to feel weird, you've been made to feel different. But I feel like for some of you, and I hope that this is not the case for most of you, but I feel like it could be something more severe where like you've literally been made to think that you are like doing something wrong, or that like you have sinned for just being who you are and liking what you like. So an example of that might be like the person who likes to read tarot cards, or this could even be something about your identity, like your gender identity, your sexual identity, or how you like to go about relationships. Maybe like you're polyamorous, maybe you're asexual, and someone has, or many have made you to feel like there's something like wrong about you, or something that needs to be fixed. And I really feel like these white flowers here are saying there is nothing that needs to be fixed about you. Like truly, as long as you are not hurting anyone and you're doing what makes you happy, then you are pure, then you are golden. And also there's a similar color scheme in these cards as well. Like all of the skies, let me check, or no, not all of the skies are like that. There's like dark skies, there's blue skies, but again, you guys are getting all the skies that are like red, orange, yellow. Like this is you finding security and comfort within yourself, and finding your confidence and standing up for yourself. That's what this reading is all about with these colors. There's a lot of symbolism in colors for this group as well, which wasn't so much the case in group one, and is just not always the case when I do readings in general. So I don't know if like visual art is really important to you guys, if it's like healing for you, or if that's not something you do. It might be something that you want to try out. It could be a very like healing or stress relieving activity for you, like drawing or painting or something like that. Because like color seems to be very important to this group. But what was I going to say? Yes, I was talking about the white flowers and about the purity of you guys. And with the Eight of Pentacles here, your first piece of advice is keep going. And what I mean by that is like, keep going, keep being you, keep working on the things that matter to you. Now, the Eight of Coins, in its traditional meaning and its traditional imagery, it is someone who is working tirelessly or putting in consistent efforts on the same thing over and over and over again. So it has this feeling of like practice makes perfect, and if you work diligently at something, you will get it right. So keep being interested in what you're interested in. Keep working on what you're working on. Keep investing in what you're investing in. Keep pursuing your dreams. The number 8 is a number of abundance. And it's also, it makes me think of like karma or destiny. And I feel like you guys have accumulated good karma. Now, what I will say, this person is crying, which is, you know, different, of course, from the traditional imagery. And we do see a flock of birds flying away. So it does make me think of this person being left behind. And so this is it's kind of a tough message to bring, but you could lose approval, you could lose validation, you could lose someone in this process of being yourself. And that will hurt in the moment. It's like you're getting stung with these thorns. The very thing that you're working on is stinging you. But you will live a life with so much more happiness if you're being yourself than if you have these people in your life who suffocate you and who don't allow you to express yourself authentically. It might feel better at first because it's like you don't have to go through the pain immediately. But if you suppress who you are, or if you suppress what or whom you love, that will build and build and build, and that will turn to resentment. Or maybe it already has turned to resentment, and it's like one day it will explode. So freeing yourself now, yes, it might be painful, but it will lead to more happiness in your future. And the next card that we have is the Chariot. And I just think this is so beautiful. Like, this is you guys. First of all, the Chariot talks about victory. It talks about making progress. It talks about moving forward. But I just think there's something very significant about, like, the birds are flying away, but the fish are supporting you. The fish are helping you, because like birds and fish are such polar opposites, right? Like one of them flies in the air, one of them swims in the water. And I feel like you guys are a fish. You're a fish that was raised by birds, or like you're a fish that thought everyone else in the world was a bird and there was just something wrong with you for being born as a fish. But then the birds fly away and it's sad, but then you meet other fish and you're like, holy crap, like there's a whole sea of fish. I'm not the only one. Not only that, but there's fish who are damn proud to be fish. I didn't know that that was possible. Like, I didn't know that you were allowed, not allowed, but like, well, maybe, that it was possible, or that you could be so proud of yourself as a fish, especially if this is something you've been taught from like a very young age. Even if the logical part of your brain knows better, that like, yes, I'm allowed to be proud of myself for being a fish. I'm allowed to be confident. When something gets drilled into you so much and so young, it's really hard, I think, to get rid of it. It's just like an instinct. It's like this subconscious thing within you. But this is you guys finding your fish who love themselves and who love you and who support you. And this is you moving on with your tribe of fish. Now, they may not come immediately, but they will come quickly, because the Chariot is fast. And look at how this came up too. Like, the birds flew away, this person is crying, and then the Chariot is like rushing in, like the direction that they're rushing in. So there may be a period where things feel lonely, where things feel sad, but your fish will find you. And then the next card that we have is the Nine of Coins, which I love. And I love like the transition here because, and they literally come like one after the other in tarot. The Eight of Coins is someone who is working really hard, is working consistently, is not giving up. And then the Nine of Coins is the payoff. The Nine of Coins is when you find abundance. We have a card of hard work and then victory and then abundance. So I think that you guys will find great success. I think that embracing who you truly are is going to bring amazing opportunities for you. Like, of course, with friendships, but I think also with your career. I think embracing who you are can make you very successful in your career. I am using the example of reading tarot just because it's easy to understand. I'm by no means saying that that's what all of you guys go through. It can be so many different things, but just in the example of the person who likes reading tarot cards, this would be them like finding their spiritual community and then becoming a successful tarot reader. So it's like whatever it is that you love or that you're passionate about or that you stand for that has made you rejected or shunned in the past, that is the very thing that will bring you recognition, that will bring you beautiful friendships, that will make you successful. Some of you guys may be very talented singers, because yellow birds make me think of like canaries, and canaries make me think of singers. And also, I think it's really interesting that these birds, I think they're geese. So it's like the flock, you know? The flock that just like maintains the status quo and does what everyone else is doing. When you're doing something different, the flock is like, different, I don't like that. And you might feel sad, but then you get to meet your fish. And also, fish are a sign of like resources, abundance. It could be indicating like a business partnership as well, but you're definitely finding your community. And what's so interesting here, like this is you found your success, you're living your best life, you're independent. For those of you that this might not resonate for everyone, but the Nine of Coins can also be like, I'm just enjoying being single and I'm just enjoying my own company. So maybe there's like a breakup here, or we're just like, I'm dealing with a lot, I'm not going to rush into dating or something like that. But look at this, like you've grown up, you've found your success, you've found who you truly are. And look at even the difference between the expression on their faces. You're going from like crying to having this beautiful, like flashing your teeth smile on your face. And it also looks like you've gotten a bit jacked. That's good. But yeah, and look at this. Now a bird comes flying back. But you know what? I don't get the sense of this being like, oh, look who's crawling back now that I'm successful and living my best life. I feel like it's like someone from this flock is coming back and being like, I'm a fish too. I'm a fish too, and I was too afraid and I stayed with the flock, but you inspired me. It could be someone you know. It doesn't necessarily have to be though. It could just be people who have been through a similar story as you. I was also once a goose who was brainwashed and who was stuck in my flock and who was too scared to be free. But when I saw you with this similar story and you had the courage to be yourself, it inspired me. It lit up something in me too. So this is not only like a success story for you, but it's a very inspirational story. But I feel like I haven't done the Nine of Coins justice of how she really represents someone. Well, actually, I think it's he in this case, but usually it's like a fancy lady with a dress. How they really represent you're living your best life. You live a such well-rounded life. You're unbothered. You don't have a care in the world, and you're surrounded by love and appreciation. Life is leisurely. Life is fruitful. Life is easy. I'm even getting Empress vibes. The Knight of Coins in reverse, I want to take a clarifier for this. And we have the Knight of Coins in reverse. Okay. And we have Strength in reverse. That was what I had an inkling it was about, but I honestly wasn't sure. So now we have the confirmation. If the Knight of Coins had come out in the upright in a context like this, I would read it as like you're healing, you're making progress, but it's not linear. Like some days you might still hurt and you might think about the past, but that's okay. Because that's what our healing journey is like. We have ups and downs, we fall back again, but we keep going. Because the Knight of Coins is like slowly but surely moving forward. And I would often say with him, like, he's a non-linear journey. So when this comes out in reverse, I think it's really emphasizing that like sometimes those insecurities will come back. Those insecurities will come back, those painful or even again, I hope this is not the case, or even like traumatic memories will come back. So, and with strength in reverse, I'm taking it very literally as like weak. You would still have moments of weakness sometimes. But that won't stop you. And I think that's what's the most important. That won't stop you from living your best life. Strength is it's a very tenacious energy, and so is the Knight of Coins. If I'm being honest, I do think your life will turn around very soon, like very quickly, but I kind of feel like, and this sounds so pessimistic, but what I'm hearing is like the damage has been done. There might be some things that kind of just linger forever, or for a very, very long time. I was just talking about this the other day, like mentally, I'm doing much better than I used to. You know, I feel like I live a peaceful and happy life, but I'm like, I don't know if anxiety ever goes away. I think it gets better. I think it gets manageable. I don't know if any of you guys have like successfully recovered from anxiety or from like mental troubles and it like doesn't come back and doesn't bother you anymore. I would love to hear about that, because I don't want to be pessimistic, but I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ever going to stop being anxious. Maybe I just like find healthier ways of preventing anxiety attacks, or like coping with them when they do happen, or maybe I just get better at managing my emotions, but it's like it's always kind of lurking in the background. Man, that's really a pessimistic message to come out, but maybe if we look on the bright side, this is spirit saying like, yes, you may always kind of have those memories, or there every now and then there might be something that triggers a past memory or that brings that insecurity back up. But that's okay, because that's not going to stop you from experiencing true happiness, and that's not going to stop you from going forward and being successful and living your best life. And the fact that you're doing all of this in spite of what you've been through is so freaking inspirational. I guess it's the message of like, you don't have to be perfectly healed and perfectly positive to manifest a beautiful life for yourself. And that's part of being human. Like, we're always gonna simultaneously be living through good and the bad and feeling like the bitter and the sweet. But in a way, that's what makes life so beautiful. I should also mention we have Leo energy here with the Strength card. So, okay, there's another message here. I feel like something you guys are really learning in this time is like how long you've known someone. Like, knowing someone for a very long time does not equal a closer relationship or a more valuable relationship, or that person knowing you better. And that may have been something that you believed before or that you were taught before. Especially, like, family keeps coming back, but it's like, even if it was like a childhood friend, like, just because you've known this person since you were a baby, they don't have to be your closest relationship. Maybe that's the case for many people, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Because I feel like in this part of your life, you could be meeting new people and making friends that like you become way closer with them in a way shorter time. And so that challenges the previous belief or the previous teaching that you had that's like you should value the connections that you've had for a longer time, or like the connections that like people that you've known for longer, they know you better, you're closer to them, it's a better relationship because you built it up over time. And that's not necessarily the case. I think that some of your best friends that maybe you've recently met or that you're going to meet very, very soon, you're going to develop a much, much closer relationship than like some people that you've known for ages, or like some family members. So you'll realize that like it's not about time, it's about how your souls connect. It's about how your souls are on the same wavelength. And that's what you're manifesting right now. You're manifesting your fish tribe. Maybe there's going to be like a Pisces who's very significant, but Why do I always do this? I always leave the oracle cards on the other side of the room. I really gotta get my stuff together. Okay, so for this last, and I just saw 2929 by the way, which maybe I wouldn't have seen that if I didn't get up and get the cards. So that could be a significant angel number for you guys. 29 does reduce to 11, so 2929 or 1111 could be significant. 29 could also be an age, which incidentally is the age that you go through your Saturn return, which can be quite difficult. So maybe some of you guys are going through that. Saturn return also happens when you're 58 or so, I believe. Yes, let's take a look at your oracle cards. You guys got quite a bit of extra cards here. Like you got 2 of these and 2 of these, but we're gonna look at these to get some messages and advice from spirit. We have give it the time it needs and let it flow, let it grow. So there's definitely a message here of being patient and being gentle with yourself and letting things develop in their own time. We have waning gibbous. Oh, wow. I'm hearing like it's only going to get better. It's only going to get easier, because the waning gibbous is when the moon is starting to shrink, so to speak. The moon is starting to shrink after the full moon. And the full moon is when your emotions are at their most intense and at their most raw. And it cannot get any worse than that. I'm not saying the full moon is bad, but just in this context. The moon cannot get any fuller than a full moon. That's as full as it can get, and then it has to start waning. So I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying, like, you've already been through the worst, or it can only get better, or that the emotions will become less and less intense over time. So maybe that goes back to this message we had here of like, old triggers might come up, past memories might be reactivated, and that will continue on, but your emotional reaction towards that will get less and less and less over time. And then we also have the 6th house, and we have owls might be significant for you guys. We've obviously spoken a lot about geese and fish in this reading, but owls could be a significant spirit animal, as well as, I don't know if this is a canary, but that's how I read it. Cows or buffaloes or bulls or anything bovine of that nature. And then here we have, it's like a lion and also an alligator. Yes. 6th house is making me think of like structure and routine, and I feel like keeping that in your life. Oh my gosh, and I noticed there's a lot of freaking animals here. There's more birds. There's a Oopa Loopa. I think it's called axolotl. Is that what you call them in English? Axolotl? Anyway, there's a frog. Maybe like animals are really healing for you guys. Art, animals, nature, they will really, really heal you, because animals and nature don't judge you. And you are one with them. You are pure just like them. Animals are innocent, plants are innocent, and you are innocent. And you are one with them. Oh yeah, because the 6th house is about small animals. That's probably why they're all here. Maybe getting a pet could be very helpful at this time, or spending time with your pet if you already have one. And even if you have a pet on the other side, I feel like connecting to them could be very beneficial to remind you how loved you are. But the other, and I guess maybe more generic interpretation of the 6th house that I was going to talk about is like routine. And I think it kind of matches with the 8 of coins energy. It's like consistently doing the same things over and over again. Keeping yourself in a routine could be like a beneficial way to keep your mind from wandering to those darker places. We also have discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So you definitely have big achievements in your future with the Chariot and the 9 of coins. Not just achievements, but like recognition and appreciation. And I think that you're going to be succeeding alongside friends, which is really beautiful, and cheering each other on. And then we have hold your vision. Oh, hold your vision with the fixed moon. And I love that we have the moon over mountains, because mountains represent like adversity and obstacles. It's like you will shine over the obstacles. And yes, it will be difficult at first. Yes, it will feel lonely at first. And even after, when your life has gotten better, there will still be moments of weakness. I guess this is just a very like realistic reading, but keep going. Another thing I want to say with the 6th house is like, routine and structure is important, but routines also need to be adaptable. You know, with these moons here, moons fluctuate. Sometimes you have more energy, sometimes you have less. Sometimes you feel amazing, sometimes you feel like crap. And a routine, a good routine, I think needs to be able to adapt to that. So when you're planning your routine, I think rather than being like, I'm going to do this for 1 hour every single day, have this kind of adaptability where like, this is what I'll do on a good day. And if I'm feeling like crap, at the very least, I'm going to do 10 minutes. Because it's not about just like pushing yourself and beating yourself up, but it's about consistency. And consistency doesn't mean you're doing the same thing every single day, but it means you're just showing up every day. Maybe you're showing up with 100%, and maybe you're showing up with 5%. But what matters is that you're showing up. And even those little 5% will add up over time. And so I feel like the person you're becoming, or the person you already are, it's like, even on these days where you feel down, you will still show up. And even if you can't get as much done, that's okay. And it's like, I feel like you're just developing this really good relationship of like trust with yourself and being proud of yourself. I'm so proud of the growth that I see here. And I know that might sound weird because I probably don't know you personally, but hello, if I do, I hope you're doing well. But I'm really proud of the growth that I see here. So these are all the messages I have for my group number 2s, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and you can also follow me on Instagram, where I post weekly pick-a-card readings as well as new moon and full moon readings. That will be linked in the description as well as in the pinned comment. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 2, I just want to say, don't give up on yourself, and I'm sending you lots of love, and I'm sending lots of love to your spiritual team, to your companion animals, to your fish, to your amazing soul family. And once again, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the red Phantom Quartz and the Muse Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So we're going to start off this reading by taking a look at the energy surrounding your current situation. More specifically, we want to see what might be blocking you at this time, what you might be struggling with, and then get some advice for how you can overcome and move past this, and then what will be waiting for you on the other side. So the first deck that we're going to use is the Intuit Tarot. This is the deck that we'll use to get some insights on your current situation. And I am going to be taking reversals for both of the tarot decks being used today. And you can think of this part of the reading as your energy check. So if the energy being described here does sound like you and what you're going through, then that's your sign that this is in fact your group. Okay, my group number 3s. What is blocking group number 3 right now? Or what might they be struggling with at this time? So we have the World in reverse with the keyword seeking closure. We have 2 of Coins in the upright with a balancing act. And then we have the Ace of Wands in reverse, and it says needing an outlet. So I just want to point out the zodiac signs that are present here, or the astrological placements as they might be relevant to you guys. We have the planet of Saturn here with the World. We have Jupiter and Capricorn on the Two of Pentacles, and then we have fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius on the Ace of Wands. So when I was pulling these cards, I got this sort of visual. It was like somebody was straddling between two boats. Like they had one foot on one boat and one foot on the other boat, and they were trying to get over from one to the other, but it was still too shaky to lift their foot. And so they're trying to figure out the timing of like, when do I lift my foot and take this other step to go on the new boat, if that makes sense. And there are so many things that I could apply that type of visual to in real life. One example that comes to me very clearly is someone who's going through a career transition. So maybe they're moving from one job to another, or they are going from like an employed situation to like an entrepreneur, a self-employed type of thing. And they might be kind of in between two worlds right now. And I feel like what this group is struggling with is knowing the timing of like, when do I lift my foot? When do I completely disengage from my old situation and like fully make the transition? I know that I have to do it at some point. It's just difficult to know when to go or how to go. That might be because you're not yet sure of the security of this new endeavor. You're not sure if it's going to provide for you and support you enough that you can fully let go of the old thing. Or you may be feeling called to stick around in the old situation because you want to like make sure that everything is okay, especially like if you're leaving behind an organization or a group of people, maybe even like separating from loved ones. It's like you want to make sure that everything is in order with them and everything is okay with them before you make this transition. So in the same example of like someone who's leaving their position as an employee to do their own business, it's like, yes, I want to know that this new situation is going to provide for me enough. And maybe it's like, let's say this person has a family. Like I want to make sure that my kids are taken care of and my family is good before I take this risk. So right now, I'm like in this in-between where I'm like getting the new situation started, but I'm still also kind of like holding on and doing the old one. And that's fine for some time. And actually, I think it's very common when we make these major transitions to do it gradually, you know, like to start up the new thing. And then once the new thing is looking good, then we can cut off and leave the old thing behind. But if we stay in this in-between energy too much, that is going to get tiring because we are simply doing too much. And that's what the Two of Coins often talks about. Like there is too much going on. You're juggling too many things. And with the seeking closure, it's like you're waiting for that surefire sign of like, okay, it's time for me to close off this situation and end it. Another one that came to my mind is like, in relationships, like maybe wanting to move on and like explore your options and look for a connection with someone new, but like at the same time you're hung up on someone else and you're like, I don't want to move forward until I know for sure that it's not going to happen with this person. It's like being in that in between, and you know what direction you want to head in. It's just knowing the timing of like, when do I let go completely? Because on one hand, it feels like the old situation hasn't fully ended, but on the other hand, it feels like the new situation hasn't fully begun. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse here, which in the upright, this would indicate like, go for it. It even says on here, go for it, an exciting new beginning. Whereas in the reverse, it maybe feels like this new beginning hasn't really taken off yet. And we could be feeling some frustration. We could be feeling a lack of inspiration. So this is the overall vibe of the current situation. This is kind of the energy that I feel like could be bringing you frustration or confusion right now. And of course, this can be attributed to so many different things. I do feel like for many, this could have to do with like a career transition, and like we're still not quite sure how the new thing is going to go. And then like if there's other people involved, we want to make sure that everyone is taken care of before we take off, so to speak. And it's specifically of like, how do I know when the time is right? How do I know when I'm ready? Or like, how do I know when it's time to let go? So let's move on now to the tarot deck that you guys chose. We're going to pull some cards from the Muse tarot here and get some advice for how you can navigate this situation. This could also be something like investing in two endeavors at the same time. And you're like, I'll just put energy into both of these projects or both of these businesses. And then I'll just see like which one takes off first and go with that one. But like, as you put energy into both of them, they both are just like coasting, or they're both just doing okay. And in the meantime, you're losing steam. But you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to pick one. I don't know which one that would be. It's like stuck in an in-between, stuck in a limbo. It's like you're doing both, but you're not giving your all to either. This is the kind of vibe that I'm feeling. And I guess there's something like, I'm waiting for the universe to show me which way to go, or I'm waiting for the universe to show me when to let go. But maybe the solution is just making up your mind and going for it despite your uncertainty. I'm not sure. That might just be me getting ahead of myself. We'll look at the advice that the cards have for you, but I have that feeling. For my group number 3 is, what advice does group number 3 need to navigate this situation? We have the 5 of Inspiration, which is the 5 of Wands in reverse. Okay, we have the 5 of Emotions, which is the 5 of Cups in reverse. And then we have the Star in the upright. And then we have, oh my gosh, and then we have the 6 of Swords in the upright. Okay, so can I just say, we have 2 reversed cards and 2 upright cards, but these are very good cards to have in reverse, and these are very good cards to have in the upright. So, you know, I don't normally read reversals, and sometimes it makes me nervous, but like, it just worked out perfectly. I love that. Okay, let's talk about the 5 of Wands in reverse. I feel like this is saying you're either doing too much or you're thinking too much, or both. The 5 of Wands, when it comes to like a personal situation, it does make me think of inner conflict, which, you know, we can clearly see here. But it's like this mind is frazzled because its thoughts are going in a million different directions. There is a feeling of overthinking this situation or overanalyzing the situation. There may be too much focus on what ifs rather than the situation in front of you. I feel like if you were to look at the facts of the situation in front of you, the choice would be clear, but then your brain kind of steps in and goes, yeah, but what if this hypothetical things happen? Then that would ruin everything. Or what if this happens? Then that's going to pose a difficulty. And the fact of the matter is that there's always going to be what ifs, and we can't base our life or base our major decisions off of those. It's one thing to consider things that could potentially happen and think of a solution or a strategy should those things come up, but it's another thing to get so paralyzed with all of the possible scenarios and things that could go wrong that you never take action. And I feel like that's what might be happening here. And I'm hearing it's like you're trying to do too much, or you're trying to be too much for everyone. I'm just looking at, this is 5 of the same person. It's like, you gotta be this person, and you gotta be this person, and you gotta be this person. And you have to show up like for all of these people in your life. It's like, I don't know, the example I'm thinking of, it's like a mother. Like, you have to be a mother, you have to be a cook, you have to be a maid, you have to be like a model, you know, you're expected to do all of these things and still look good doing it. That's just one example, but I feel like you guys are kind of in this situation where it's like you have to wear so many hats and do so much for so many different people. And I feel like you're doing too much, you're putting too much on your plate, you're expecting too much of yourself, or others are expecting too much of you, and it's just not fair. I think the best advice for you guys to make this decision of like, when do I completely move on, is to base your decision on the facts that are here right now as opposed to hypotheticals, and to focus on what you truly want. So I'll use the example of the person who's transitioning careers. Maybe they're working their office job and they started their business, and their business is doing quite well. If they look at the current situation, they would say, wow, my business is doing really well now. I can probably move forward and like focus all of my energy on this now and keep it growing. So I can probably leave my office job. Then this hypothetical thought comes in of like, yeah, but what if your business starts failing? The thing is, literally every hypothetical exists. Yes, that possibility is also always going to be there. But you know what? The possibility of the company that you have the office job for going bankrupt is also a possibility. And yet there's a part of you that wants to stay there for security. There's really nothing that says this is more secure than this. It's like a bias that your brain has. Maybe it's a fear of the unknown, but that's why we have to just look at the present. We cannot prepare for every single little hypothetical thing, but we can't let that scare us out of living our life. So if you look at your current situation, you see that things are looking good in this new endeavor, and it feels good to go there, then go there. It's like, make it simple. Take out the what ifs and make it simple, or at least the what ifs that you can't control. And then the answer will become simple. And also to think about what it is that you really want. So this same person might say, yeah, I want to leave my job and focus on my business, but like, I'm really gonna, like, my coworkers are gonna be disappointed, or like, what is the company gonna do without me? It's like, maybe you feel some responsibility or some obligation to others that is stopping you from moving forward. And putting yourself first is very important here. And with the 5 of Cups in reverse, you know, just because we want to end a chapter in our life, it doesn't mean that we're not going to be sad. Just because you want to, and again, this is the hypothetical example, just because you want to leave your job, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be sad when you leave it, because there are people you care about there, and there are positive memories there. And yes, it is going to be bittersweet. We have 2 number 5s, so there is potential for you guys to go through some great change right now. And change is always bittersweet. Change is always hard to navigate, and that's why we can't like wait around until the circumstances are perfect, or wait around for the answer to come. Sometimes we have to just ask ourselves, what do we want? Okay, then let's do that. Let's go for it. Wow, it is pouring rain right now. I don't know if you guys can hear, but anyway. So moving on, we have the Star, which I think is so amazing. And this is such a beautiful contrast to come out when we're dealing with a mind who is like expecting the worst, or like wondering about what if the worst case scenario happens, because the star is truly the best case scenario, like the best possible thing that could happen. It very often feels too good to be true. This is like your wildest dreams coming true with the star. This is your promise that the future is bright. If you take this leap, not only is the best case scenario that you can envision going to happen, but things beyond your expectations, things beyond what you could currently perceive of, are going to happen for you. And the Six of Swords also means it will get easier. It will get better. And I'm just looking at this image, which is very different from the traditional Six of Swords. But I feel like this is your higher self and this is you. You're standing at the edge of your higher self's hand, and they're about to like bloop, like they're about to flick you off the edge to take this leap of faith. But your higher self's hand is placed that you are protected from these spiky things. So if your higher self is asking you to take a leap, your higher self is not going to let you get hurt. Your higher self is going to be there to protect you, and the universe will catch you when you take this fall. For some of you, this could be like travel could be involved here, because we do have the World and we do have the Six of Swords. So like, you know, traveling to another place, that's a very big step. But honestly, the first thing that made me think that was not the meaning of these cards, but was actually that this person reminds me of Carmen Sandiego. And I feel like she's always like jet setting and hiding. It's been a while. I don't remember her story very well, but I used to play Carmen Sandiego computer games. Anyway, so yeah, this is calling you guys to take the leap. This is calling you guys to go ahead and unapologetically manifest your dream reality. And I just feel like it's a lot simpler than your brain is making it, but that's what brains are good at. That's what they tend to do. Yeah, was there something else that I wanted to say? Just that, oh yes, I also wanted to say the Six of Swords can also talk about mental clarity, things just being easy, things just making sense. I feel like it's going to be confusing, or it's going to feel confusing and uncertain until you make the choice. You know, like, should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? But then once you do it and you get to the other side, you're like, oh yeah, of course this was the right choice. Of course I had to do it. I can't believe I was almost thinking that I shouldn't. Once you take that leap, you'll be very sure of yourself. But as long as you delay your decision, you'll just keep feeling unsure. Your brain will keep bringing up all these scenarios and like trying to trick you and trying to scare you is really the way that it's coming through. Okay, so the same way we mentioned the zodiac signs here, I also want to mention every single group has gotten the Five of Cups in reverse so far, but like in different contexts. That's very interesting. With the Five of Wands, this is Saturn in Leo. Yes. And then with the Five of Cups, this is Mars in Scorpio. The star is Aquarius, and the Six of Swords is, I want to say, Mercury in Aquarius, or maybe yeah, I think so. I'll put a subtitle if I'm wrong, but I think that this is Mercury in Aquarius. Okay, so, oh wait, and this is also Aquarius. Shout out to my Aquarius Sun and Mercuries. All right, so now we are going to take a look at some oracle cards to get some final messages and advice from Spirit. You guys ended up with 2 of these cards, so you have a little extra. See with eyes of love and reflect. Yeah, I feel like you guys, you've been making your decisions based on fear rather than love. But I could see how it would be easy, like, for your ego to trick you in this case. Again, going back to that example of like, I can't leave my job because I'm gonna like let these people down. I could see how you would view that as like, I'm making this decision out of love for them, but it's more of like a fear of someone being disappointed in you. A fear of not being able to please someone or not meeting someone's expectations. So it's a sneaky thing. It's a sneaky thing, but I feel like something important to ask yourself is like, am I choosing to do this out of love, or am I choosing to do this out of fear? Or can I identify a fear that might be leading me towards this choice? I think there's one that you can see there's a lot of fears that are keeping me here. But I feel like you're not choosing this new beginning out of fear. I feel like the new beginning, it's all your love, it's all your passion, or at least that's how it's coming out. And I think more in general, this is a message from Spirit that if you look at everything and everyone in the world with love, and if you try to see the beauty in everything, that love will be reflected right back to you. So maybe that's kind of a cliche message, but it's like, you will reap what you sow. If you like put out positive vibes into the world, you will get positive vibes back. I'm just like, if it's like, oh yeah, and also this is kind of giving me vibes of like a confirmation bias, but like you can use that to your favor. I feel like right now your mind has a bias for problems. So when it's like, if you're looking for problems, of course you're going to find them. But if you look out in the world and you look for love and you look for opportunity and you look for solutions, then that's what's going to be reflected back to you. Whatever you're looking for, that's what you're going to find. You could easily look at this world and see, a beautiful utopia. And you can also easily look at this world and see a shithole that is doomed. It all depends on what you are looking for, and it all depends on how you are perceiving it. So like whatever you're perceiving, whatever you're looking for will be reflected back to you. And that's very powerful. Oh my gosh, we also have 5. And when I looked up, the camera timer was at 23:32. And both 23 and 32 reduced to 5. And we have 2 5s here. So big changes coming for this group. This is your green light to like choose the new beginning and to make that change. We also have abundance. I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. The color red is significant too. Obviously this is very red, but this ring is bright red as well. And this, well, maybe this is more of like a pink or purplish color, but it looks kind of red. The scarf that this world person is dancing with, I feel like red. Oh yeah, and you guys also chose red phantom quartz. Red could be a very empowering color for you guys. I really like carnelian. It just feels very empowering, makes me feel like in charge of my own life. This stimulates leadership, confidence, creativity, courage, I want to say. I feel like red is here because it's encouraging you to follow your passions and to be bold and brave and to be a leader and to be creative and really take charge of your life. It could also be a sign to work on your root chakra if you do feel called to do that. That could make you feel a lot more safe. That could maybe, that would definitely help a racing mind that is like all up in the clouds, thinking about all the hypotheticals. Working on your root chakra will bring you back here to earth, in the present moment, and focusing on what is tangibly here. And it will also make you feel less anxious and more secure, more safe in the world, more confident in your decisions. Oh, I love this. There's a lot of Aquarius energy. Show the world the real you. Do we, at least at the time that I'm filming this, I think the full moon in Aquarius is coming up very soon, in like a week. I don't think this video will be up before the full moon in Aquarius, but at the time that I'm filming this is in about a week. So maybe something's gonna happen for you guys in a week's time, or maybe something's gonna happen for you guys in the next full moon, like whenever the next full moon is when you're watching this. And just Aquarius season in general could be very significant, especially if like a lot of planets line up in Aquarius. And that's also like Aquarius makes me think of change, innovation, like not being afraid to do something different. And again, like having hope for the future. I think deep down, you know what you want, and your soul is like pleading for you to be true to yourself and to choose yourself. So group number 3s, these are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And you can also follow me on Instagram, where I regularly post weekly pick a card readings as well as new moon and full moon readings. That will be linked in the description and the pinned comment. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the beginning of this video was an original song. So if you, I swear to God, when am I gonna be able to say this outro smoothly? It's because I always like make little changes to it. I can never just like say the same thing and then I get thrown off every time. But what matters is that I convey my thanks to you and I let you know what other KINO content is available. If you're interested in listening to the full version of the intro song or any of my other songs, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 3s, I'm sending so much love to you and to your spiritual team as well, and your loved ones as well. And I thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 4s. So if you guys chose the Citrine, I love this piece of Citrine so much. The inside of the tower is so cool. And the Gentle Heart Tarot, this is going to be your reading. So we're gonna start off this reading by taking a look at the energy surrounding your current situation. And we're gonna be specifically seeing what might be blocking you right now, what you might be struggling with right now, and then get some advice for how you can overcome and move through this energy, and then what will be waiting for you on the other side of that. So the first deck that I want to use in this reading is the Intuit Tarot. We're going to use this to get our first look into your current situation. And I am going to be taking reversals today. So for both of these decks, if a card comes out in reverse, we will keep it like that. And you can think of this part of the reading as your energy check. So if what I'm describing here does sound like you and what you're currently going through, that will be your sign that this is in fact your reading. Okay, so my beautiful group number 4s, what is blocking group number 4 right now, or what are they struggling with? Okay, we have the Sun in reverse. We have the Four of Swords in the upright. And the Three of Coins in reverse. Okay, pretty clear message coming through for this group. But first, I just want to point out the astrological placements that we have here, as they could be relevant to you. So on the Sun, we have obviously the Sun and Leo. And then in the Four of Swords, we have Jupiter in Libra. And on the Three of Coins, we have Mars in Capricorn. So if you look at these keywords on the cards, I think it's pretty clear what the message coming through for you guys is. Just have fun, time for non-action, and loss of motivation. This is very clearly your higher self asking you guys to slow down and to take a rest. And I feel like this is what you guys are struggling with. Yeah, I was, what group was it? It was in the first group. They had the Sun coming out in the upright, and I feel like I was talking a lot and focusing on this energy of the Sun being very playful and being very carefree, and something that I don't normally talk about with the Sun, but that I really felt like saying for that group was like, I don't have control over my situation. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm okay with that. I'm gonna embrace that. I'm gonna let go of the need to control everything. And I can definitely feel that coming through as advice for this group as well. This Sun in reverse is saying like, just let loose, just let go, just allow yourself to have fun and allow yourself to do nothing. Isolation, going within, silence, rest, take a break, healing, recalibrate, retreat. I feel like there could be a couple different things going on here, and it could definitely be a combination of many things. But I feel like we have a little bit of workaholic energy in this group, and especially like tying your worth to your productivity, like how hardworking you are, or how many results you are producing, or how much progress you are making. That's what I see with this 3 of coins in reverse. With this keyword being loss of motivation, it could be that some of you guys are afraid of slowing down or taking a break entirely because you're afraid of losing your progress, or you're afraid of like, what if I step back and I like lose my skills, or what if I step back and I lose my motivation and I can't get back on the wagon in the same way as before. And now that I'm talking more about this, it definitely sounds like something that could happen at work, but it could also be like, I'm also thinking of someone who's like on a fitness journey. Maybe they're like having a different, what do you call it? Like a diet, a different exercise lifestyle. And like, they're so afraid of falling off the wagon that it becomes not enjoyable for them. Like they're so afraid of like maybe going a few days without exercising, or like they're so afraid of eating a cheat meal, which I think is a really dumb word, but that's just for lack of a better word, that the process just becomes devoid of like fun or fulfillment because it's like this constant stress, it's this constant pressure. Or like this would be like me being so afraid of skipping a week of posting content because I'm worried that like, what if my channel dies, or like, what if I lose my ability to read tarot? What if like people are upset or people lose interest? Which, if I'm going to be honest with you, I do have those thoughts. So I could definitely relate to this group. It's like, I know that spirit wants me to rest. I know better, and I know that it's okay to take a break, and I know that it's okay to be gentle with myself. But I'm scared, like, or I just can't bring myself to do it. Or even when I do it, I just can't help but have in the back of my mind that like, I need to get back to work, and like this break better not be too long, or like I can't fully relax because there's this guilt that I associate with it. And I think it's interesting that we have not learning from past mistakes. For some of you, this could be a lesson that you guys have been working on for a very long time. Like realizing that your worth is inherent, and you can literally just exist, and you're just as worthy as if you were working your ass off and like busting your butt day in and day out. That does not change your worth. Your worth is always in you. I feel like this is something like a truth that you've been exposed to, a truth that you have affirmed to yourself, a truth that you really believe in, but it's just been difficult to put into practice. And so you may find yourself like falling back to these limiting beliefs or being hard on yourself again and again. And that could be the blockage that you guys are experiencing right now, is like, I know what I have to do, and I know that I should feel okay to rest and be gentle with myself, but like, how do I do that? How do I make peace with that and feel okay doing that? And then also, like with this message of count your blessings, there could also be something going on here where we're always focused on moving forward and achieving the next goal without stopping to be grateful for the milestones that we have reached, and celebrating ourselves and like kind of basking in those victories. It's like, before you give yourself that time to bask in your victory and enjoy the fruits of your labor, you're already thinking about like what you have to do next. So I think this is a pretty clear energy. It's like a very go, go, go kind of vibe, and your higher self is asking you to slow down. I'm also looking at this middle card that talks about healing, isolation and healing. Another reason that you could be keeping yourself so busy or working so hard is that there may be things within that want to heal. There may be past memories that want to resurface and be addressed and be released, but we are consciously or subconsciously running away from that. like if we just keep ourselves busy, we don't have to think about that kind of stuff. This could be going on, yeah, I think this could be going on even on a subconscious level. But your higher self wants you to be free. Your higher self is reminding you that your soul didn't come here to prove themselves to anyone. Your soul came here to have fun and to enjoy the experience. And I feel also your inner child like calling out for you right now, wanting to reconnect with you. This could also be a time where your inner child wants you to connect with old content you used to enjoy, old TV shows, movies, games, also hobbies, things that you were passionate about, things you loved doing, things you loved creating when you were younger. Your inner child wants you to come back to that as well. And I feel like you guys need some alone time with this Four of Swords too. Yeah. I think that being in the same environment all the time and being around the same people all the time, we become so acclimatized to that we might not realize the ways in which like the people around us are influencing us, or our environment is influencing us. And once we come back home and come back to ourselves, we remember who we truly are. It's like your soul is saying, come back to me. Just like take a rest and come back to me. I promise everything's going to be okay when you get back out there. In fact, taking this break could give you new inspirations and new motivations. Some of you guys may have even experienced burnouts before and told yourself like, okay, I'm going to take better care of myself now. Like I've learned my lesson because I had this burnout. And then it's like you go out there and do the same thing. It's a hard habit to break. But let's move on now and get into this tarot deck that you guys chose. So with this deck, we're going to see your advice for making it through this tough energy, as well as what is to come next for you. I think I'm hearing like, what am I so afraid of? If you're going within, if you're reflecting, I feel like that's a good question. What am I so afraid of? Maybe this is gonna get a little personal here, but I struggle with similar things, like I mentioned before, like feeling like I constantly need to be excelling. I feel like that's just general anxiety. It's also like, what is it called? Former gifted kid syndrome, like feeling like you need to always be outperforming yourself and be like excellent at everything. But I kind of ask myself that, like, what am I really aiming for by pushing myself to do more and more and more? And it was because I thought like doing this is going to secure my future. You know, it's going to allow me to have a comfortable future if I work really hard and save a lot of money, and then that will bring me peace. But it was so ironic because in worrying myself about this kind of stuff, I was robbing myself of peace right now. If peace is what I really want, why am I constantly like basically mentally torturing myself and taking away my own peace? Like, do I not see the irony in that? And so I kind of had to check myself recently. Like, what am I so afraid of? If I'm so afraid of losing my peace, well, that's exactly what I'm doing to myself. Anyway, this, of course, this isn't about me, but I just mention that because it's something I was going through recently, and maybe you guys can relate to that. And that phrase, like, what am I so afraid of? What am I so afraid of? It's just repeating in my mind right now. Should we take you? Sure. We have the Six of Swords in reverse. Yeah, this might be a group that struggles with anxiety as well. Because this card in the upright, it does make me think of peace of mind. It makes me think of a healthy mind. We have Strength in reverse. The Ace of Swords in the upright. And then we have the Six of Diamonds in reverse, which is the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Yes. Okay, so I want to also mention astrological placements that are present here, like I did for the first part. And oh man, this came out in group 3 as well, and I meant to look it up, but I am fairly certain that this is Mercury in Aquarius. And then we have Leo energy with the Strength card, so that's double Leo. We have air signs with the Ace of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And then for the Six of Diamonds, this is the Six of Pentacles. So it's something in, not Capricorn, it's something in Taurus. Oh my gosh, I can't think of it right now. I'm gonna have to look this one up, but it's something in Taurus. I will put a subtitle for you guys. Okay, so over here with the Six of Swords, like we mentioned, I feel like this is an anxious energy that we're seeing here. And I think it could also be referring to the lack of progress that you guys feel. And with the Strength in reverse right next to this, I'm just getting the feeling that this is a group that is very hard on themselves. Like with this in the upright, this is about like showing compassion to the parts of us that are rough around the edges. And it's like, it's this kind of vicious cycle where I feel like this group is hard on themselves and they know it, and they try to like make efforts to change this and to be more gentle and to be more kind, but they struggle with that. And then they will be hard on themselves for the fact that they're struggling to be kinder to themselves. And it's just like this cycle that I feel keeps repeating. With the Strength card in reverse, I'm also feeling something like, it's a message like you don't have to be strong anymore. If I take it very literally and look at the Strength card in reverse, it's like you don't have to be strong anymore. And Strength can also talk about, in the positive aspect, it's like balancing our emotions and having like healthy control over our emotions. But when it's presented in negative energy, it can be like, I don't know what the word is in English, but like enduring our emotions or suppressing our emotions or pushing through. There may be a part of you that feels worthy when you push through in difficult situations, or feels like, you know, if you can ignore the cries in you to like stop or give up and push through it, it's like, oh wow, you're so perseverant. It's like you see a positive association with that. There's like praise associated with like pushing forward and like trudging forward. I'm struggling to find the right word, but if I can give an example, it's like if someone were running a marathon and like they're really, really tired, but they keep going and they finish the marathon and everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Like, you're so strong. Like, they're gonna feel positive reinforcement in that. But it's like, at what cost? You're just learning that it's like a good thing to ignore the cues of your body, or it's like a good thing to push through when you don't want to do something. And that's kind of scary. I'm not saying it's bad to be perseverant, or that it's like bad to work hard, but I think that we go too far when it involves like ignoring our instincts or ignoring our body or ignoring our boundaries. You know, like I'm really tired or like I really don't want to do this, but like I have to push through, no excuses. It's I guess it's like hustle culture is similar to that. But I feel like consciously or subconsciously there might be a part of your ego that like associates doing that with being admirable or like being strong. It's like a good thing. It deserves praise. And so it may be good, like as advice that I could give this group, it may be good to like look at where that comes from. Like, for example, we spoke about your inner child a little bit. Did you get praise when you were a child for just like disregarding your own needs and just doing what your parent wanted you to do? Was being obedient the sign of like being worthy and just like shutting up about what you really wanted, or like disregarding your boundaries and forcing yourself to do stuff? It's asking yourself that question of like, where does this come from and what am I so afraid of? Like, what do I think is going to happen if I listen to my body and slow down and just exist? Why am I so afraid of just existing? It's really, I think it's really just like reflection that is going to bring the answers. That's why we have the Four of Swords here, which is about just taking a moment for yourself, time for non-action, slowing down. And you know what's so interesting? In the reverse, it says lack of action. So this is like stillness in a negative context. But the fact that this came out in the upright, this is like reaffirming to you guys, stillness right now is a good thing. Stillness is what we need. I feel like you guys really need a period of soul searching and reflection for yourself to find these answers of like what it is that scares you. I feel like this is why you're stuck in the cycle, because it's kind of like you keep, what is it called? It's like you keep cutting the weeds, but then they just keep growing back. You have to get the weed at the root. And I feel like that's why this cycle may keep repeating over and over again, because it's like maybe you're just practicing like, oh, I'll just practice positive affirmations, or I'll just schedule some time off. But that doesn't really work because we have to go to the source. It's like, okay, this is kind of dumb, but I was just watching Stranger Things recently and there's this creature called the Mind Flayer, and it like possesses humans, and then the humans become like an extension of the Mind Flayer and will like go and do things for it. And so it's like, yeah, you could kill those people, but that's not going to kill the Mind Flayer. If you want to get rid of the Mind Flayer, you have to go to the source. That made sense in my head, but we have to go to the source. We have to go to the root. Because I think that your attachment to productivity is not the problem, it's the symptom. It's the symptom of a deeper problem, and we have to find that problem. And it's like, where were you taught to link your worth to when you were younger? Where were you taught to link your worth? If I do this, then I will be worthy. Yes, and then with the Ace of Swords here, this is about epiphanies, moments of mental clarity. So I know that even though it's tough now, even though it feels frustrating now, you will have this epiphany. You will have this moment of clarity here. You will figure out the root of what is keeping you in this cycle. And you will be able to move on, because aces are new beginnings. Now, as for what your future looks like with the Six of Diamonds or Six of Pentacles in reverse, this is a feeling of like, you give what you get, you reap what you sow. It's about the scales being in balance. When it's in the upright, I usually see something like, you're gonna work harder, but you're gonna get more payoff. And so in the reverse, I see you guys being able to do less, or it's like working less or not working just for the purpose of producing results. It's like working on things that you genuinely want to do. And I also think working less. And if I'm being honest, you might see less payback as a result. You might see less results, but that's going to be so much better for your mental health. So, you know, again, if I can give a couple examples, maybe you're working less, and then yes, these scales are balanced. So if you work less, you will make less money. But at this point, you would rather make a little bit less money and be peaceful and be happy than have all this money and be miserable and not even have time to enjoy it because you're so busy worrying about how you're gonna make more or how you're gonna maintain this level. And the same thing for that person who's like exercising, for that person who's running a marathon. Maybe they tone it down on their workout routine and they're not running a marathon every day and they're just working out like a couple times a week. Is their body going to change? Yes. Are they going to be happier? Yes. But because we're not determining our worth on the results anymore, it's okay if the results are less because it's the trade-off to have happiness and to have peace and to be able to live a more well-rounded life. This is not the most important thing to us anymore. So like, sure, let it decrease, let it go down. Because the same way the scales have to be in balance, if that decreases from my life, something else is going to increase. More time with my loved ones, more time to do the things I enjoy, more time to rest, more time to explore, to travel, more peace of mind. I'm a broken record, but that's what this is all about for you guys. So it's a more balanced life that you guys are going to live. So let's take a look at our final oracle cards to get our messages from Spirit, messages and advice from Spirit. We have be clear about what you want. So yeah, we definitely need to do some reflection and get some mental clarity here. There could be a crystal. This kind of looks like the Citrine Tower. There could be a crystal that helps bring you guys mental clarity. In general, crystals that are like clear in color help us with this. I have a really cool one here. I also have one that's like shaped like this that I really like. Maybe you guys have seen it before. Clear quartz is good for that. I like selenite as well. We have conjunction. Wow. So we have this card that says be clear about what you want, and then we have conjunction, which means that two planets are in the same sign. They are aligned. It's like once you get clear about what you want, you will align with it very quickly. This is reminding me of, I want to recommend to you guys the Gem Goddesses Manifestation course. I did this at the beginning of the year. After I did that course, all of the things that I wanted to manifest, or I should say that I thought I wanted to, I either did manifest them, or through the process of the course, I realized like, oh, maybe I don't really want these things. It was an opportunity to do a lot of soul searching and like just get clear with myself about like, do I really want to manifest this? So soul searching is so important for this group. And I feel like once you get clear about what it is that you truly want to manifest, you will align with it very, very quickly. And this is Jupiter, which is really sweet because Jupiter is a planet of like blessings, abundance, good luck. We have balance. Yeah, you're coming into a balanced life. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. That is so important. You're living a balanced life and you're not judging yourself. And then finally, we have what do you need to release with the waning moon. The season of winter could be a significant time for you guys, whenever that happens in your part of the world. This coming winter could be important. But yeah, this is all about healing. This is all about going within. This is all about getting clarity on your motivations, because I think it's a little bit deeper than like, I just want to work hard, I just want to see results. It goes deeper than that. Yes, so definitely we need some alone time. Group number 4s, these are all the messages I'm seeing for you. Oh, and I just wanted to mention too, like, you guys chose Citrine. I don't know if this was intentional, but Citrine is a card that, not a card, Citrine is a crystal that brings abundance. It brings abundance and wealth. So I know that you guys are going to be fine regardless. You guys are going to live an abundant life. You can live a balanced life and still have abundance. You don't have to be in this survival mode or like always pushing. You don't have to struggle to live an abundant life. I know that's what we're taught, but we don't have to live that way. Okay. Now I think that's it for real. Oh, and also, yeah, I feel like all of these crystals could be beneficial for you guys, like mental clarity, abundance, clearing away negativity, unconditional love, self-love. I'm honestly not sure about fluorite, but this is fluorite. This is really beautiful. The lighting in here just like doesn't do it justice, but this is a really cool tower. Okay. Oh, I really, really feel for you guys, and I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And you can also follow me on Instagram, where I post weekly pick a card readings as well as new moon and full moon readings. That will be linked in the description and the pinned comment. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 4s, I'm sending you guys so much love, and lots of love to your spiritual team as well. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!